Welcome back. If you just joined us watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television live from Lagos and Abuja. Here are the stories making our headlines this hour. Former presidential candidate Ibrahim Shekarau dumps the APC for the People's Democratic Party, the PDP. Also, 11 PDP senators write to the Senate President over their intention to move to the All Progressives Congress. Southern Kaduna Group endorses President Goodluck Jonathan for a second term. And President Barack Obama dares the U.S. Congress, says he will move on by tackling economic inequality with or without congressmen. A reminder here that all our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. But to get us on the move, then visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. Well, you can also interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android and Windows 8 platforms. If you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap on the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions to share your reports, pictures, and videos. And it's time to look at some of the pictures you've been sending us. Salem sent a picture of some youth at Apodete Streets and environs in Ughelli North Delta State, protesting the lack of electricity supply for some months in their area. The demonstration is obviously in front of the PHCN office. This picture sent in by Faye shows a tricycle burning in Kado, Shehu Yaradua Way, Abuja. And Tunde also posted a picture of fallen poles at Oluwalemu Street off Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos. He says about 4 months ago, residents of the street wrote a letter to the PHCN Ikeja branch complaining about the tilted poles and requesting that they be fixed in order to avert this kind of disaster. No one came, and now the poles have fallen. We do encourage you to keep sending in those pictures and the videos if you have them. And more criticism are still trailing the directive by the leadership of the All Progressives Congress, the APC, to its lawmakers to block executive bills in the National Assembly. The latest is coming from the Minister of Information, Mr. Labaran Mako, who notes that governance is about the people of Nigeria and not the president. He asked the APC to join the administration to work towards national transformation. Addressing State House correspondents after the Federal Executive Council meeting, Mr. Mako says the directive is anti-people and was made in bad faith. He insisted that no party with the interests of Nigerians at heart would make such a statement.
We expect that as our democracy moves forward, members of the National Assembly will be allowed to use their conscience, to use their judgment based on their understanding of every bill before them, based on the fact that they have sworn to an oath to defend the Constitution, to advance the development of our country, to use their position to advance national development. Partisanship, yes, in a democracy we have partisanship, but it should not be taken over and above national interests. It should not be taken over and above the need for us to render service to the people of Nigeria, because all of us are in government. Really, God has brought us up to minister the needs of our people. For example, if you say that the budget should not be passed, what it means is that you want to stop the economy of Nigeria. You want to ensure that traders who depend on the budget, farmers who depend on the budget, citizens who depend on the budget, teachers who depend on the budget, of the federation, you are asking them, either to go to hell or that you are endangering their survival because of partisanship. And I think, I believe that this kind of directive or this kind of position is anti-national interest, is anti-development of Nigeria, and it is not something that anybody who loves this country and who is a Democrat should encourage.
Minister of Information, Mr. Labaran Mako, and the stance taken by the All Progressives Congress to block all executive bills, including the 2014 budget, has continued to generate reactions in the House of Representatives. And while the All Progressives Grand Alliance caucus in the House has joined those condemning the directive, the APC caucus in the House has proposed passing only the recurrent expenditure of the budget. Meanwhile, a group of APC lawmakers in the House of Representatives from Kano State have insisted that they will not defect from the party, even as some of their leaders in the state dumped the APC for the People's Democratic Party. Our correspondent, Larry Lasisi, has more.
The last few weeks has seen waves of defection from different political parties in the country. One place this has been clearly seen has been in the House of Representatives. This group of legislators, however, say they are not ready to defect, even though one of their leaders in the state, Ibrahim Shekarau, has defected to the PDP.
We wish to make it categorically clear today that we are not leaving the APC for any political party.
Meanwhile, the All Progressive Grand Alliance caucus in the House has come out to speak against the position taken by the APC to block all executive bills, including the 2014 budget.
We decry and deplore current moves to polarize the House and divert it from the broad objectives of making life more meaningful for the generality of Nigerians.
The APC, however, appears to be shifting its position slightly. From an absolute position of blocking the budget, the APC caucus in the House says it can be persuaded to pass the budget.
We will hope that our progressive colleagues will agree to an ingenious and creative idea, like we did through the doctrine of necessity, to isolate the recurrent expenditure and perhaps for the first time pass a recurrent-only budget.
The caucus also disagreed with some media reports that the PDP has regained the majority position in the House. So what exactly is the number of APC members in the House of Representatives?
APC is in the majority in the House for today. I don't know about tomorrow. I don't know about the day after. We will give you exact numbers because I don't want to be off by 1 or by 2. We will give you our numbers, which we're working on, and we are also hopefully expecting more people. So we don't want to rush to give you a number until the case is completely closed.
It appears this debate over which party has the majority members in the House of Representatives will continue for a while, as well as the debate over the 2014 budget. Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, ahead of the 2015 elections, the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Adamu Muazu, has appealed to the PDP governors to redouble their efforts to bring back the defected colleagues. During a visit by 15 governors, including 2 deputies to the PDP national chairman in Abuja, Alhaji Muazu pleaded with the members to be patient and resolve all disputes amicably. Our correspondent Gloria Omezoke reports.
15 governors of the ruling party on a solidarity visit to the new national chairman of the party, Alhaji Adamu Muazu.
To make his presentation.
This unprecedented visit by the governors clearly defines a renewed determination to reconcile other aggrieved members to ensure electoral victory in the forthcoming polls.
Our house is big enough for all of them and us. In a family like ours, there is bound to be conflict, but the ability to resolve it is what is the source of strength in our party. I would therefore want to appeal to you to please speak to your colleagues to come back home.
The chairman appealed to them to imbibe the spirit of teamwork to enable PDP continue to rule the country beyond 2015. The chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, Governor Godswill Akpabio, however, expressed optimism that the new leadership would ensure an increase in the number of PDP governors in the party.
We are here to pledge our honorable support to the working committee under your leadership, and also honorable loyalty and support to Mr. President as leader of our great party, and to reassure you that the states are safe and that PDP will, inshallah, win 2015 election in all ramifications.
According to the governor, this visit marks the beginning of better relationships and internal democracy in the party to guarantee success come 2015. Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
Okay, now to Linda Kigbe in Abuja, who has more that's brewing on the political scene here in Nigeria.
Now, former military President General Ibrahim Babangida has denied writing any letter to President Goodluck Jonathan urging him to be wary of his aides who do not have the guts to tell him the truth. In a press statement, former media aide to General Babangida, Mr. Kasima Febwa, said contrary to the report published in an online medium, Global Village Extra, entitled "Your Aides Are Misleading You," IBB warns Jonathan the former military president had at no time directed him to write any such letter. In the statement, Mr. Febwa explained, and I quote, "Let me state without mincing words that I did not issue the said statement that is flying around the social media on behalf of IBB. Let me also declare that General Babangida did not authorize anyone to issue any statement on his behalf, let alone crediting some audio statement to me, Prince Kasima Febwa." End of quote. Mr. Febwa added that it is not in the character of the former Nigerian military president to join issues with other leaders in such pedestrian manner as reflected in the statement credited to him. The Northern Elders Council has taken a swipe at elders and politicians who they say promote hate, intolerance and violence to create disharmony and instability in the polity. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, the chairman of the council, Mr. Tanko Yakasai, also decried the increasing spate of insecurity in Nigeria, saying there is a need for the federal government to devise new ways of curtailing the activities of members of the Boko Haram sect. The council advised Nigerians to reject anybody who makes inciting, divisive and provocative statements capable of undermining the nation's unity and democracy.
The security challenges in Boko Haram and other ethno-religious crises in the north, as well as violent crimes of kidnapping and armed robbery in other parts of the country, pose a serious challenge to the nation, including widespread poverty and unemployment. In an effort to find a lasting solution to this national malaise, there have arisen mutual distrust and suspicion, leading to utterances by some people capable of affecting the standing and respectability and unity of the North, in particular in the country in general.
The Federal Executive Council has approved the procurement of 44 locally made jeeps for the Shorpi Committee in charge of community services, women and youth employment projects at a cost of 240.2 million naira. The Minister of Labour, Mr. Emeka Nwugu, made this known to journalists at the end of the council meeting today, saying the decision is in line with the federal government's policy to patronize locally manufactured vehicles. The council also approved the draft Nigerian Metallurgical Industry Bill 2014 for passage to the National Assembly. The Minister for Mines and Steel Development, Mr. Musa Sada, says the objective of the bill, amongst others, include regulating the operations of all metallurgical plants in Nigeria. Ahead of the proposed national conference, prominent leaders of the Niger Delta have met in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, to brainstorm on how to present a common front. At the meeting, which was put together by a non-governmental organization, Social Action, participants agreed that the representation at the conference should be done in a way to ensure fairness to all the geopolitical zones.
These leaders from across the Niger Delta region converged in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, for the Pan-Niger Delta Region Conference. The main concern, they say, is to generate awareness for the proposed dialogue. But first, there is need for the group to put its house in order, as they believe the proposed dialogue shouldn't just be about talking, but about addressing critical issues.
What is the strategic interest of the region within a united Nigeria? Is a South-South president sufficient for our needs? Are a Niger Delta Development Commission and the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs a complete fulfillment of the objectives of the Niger Delta struggle?
Another prominent member of the group, Mr. Ledumite, told the gathering to be prepared to project their identity during the conference and concludes that the only way the dialogue can make sense to Niger Deltans and indeed the rest of the country is for it to be subjected to a referendum.
We should distinguish between two sets of rights. We are not talking about individual rights, we are talking about people's rights. And so the people should have their vote, not individuals. After all, this thing, if you look at those who have been stealing the country for, there are individuals from all these groups, including our own groups, and them. So it is not a question of individuals now. It's a question of people's rights.
One fact that was also highlighted at this gathering is that of representation at the national conference. And the suggestion here is for it to be based on ethnic representation.
Representation at the conference must be on ethnic nationalities, as opposed to the woolly recommendation by PAC that it should be based on constituencies. Nebulous constituencies, meaningless.
At the end of it all, the people unanimously agree that too much power resides with the federal government, and they say it should restrict itself to issues of defense, foreign affairs, currency, immigration, regulation of tertiary institutions, and citizenship.
And that's all from Abuja. Back to you, Amarachi.
Thanks a lot, Linda. Now, when the News at 10 returns, Governor Fashola meets heads of companies located in Lagos, says solving the security challenges remain on his priority list. To join us again.